shoot the
This is a
thing.
4-1 triple D
Scared
connection.
money never made shit.
Leave out on the track.
In these streets, fuck around and lose your life.
My niggas hustling, so you know we fighting. Got a body on her, and my pistol got a body on it, got the drugs and everybody want it.
Real life street stars, we in here with G, baby. So with it.
What's up, what's up?
For the people that don't know, tell us exactly what you do.
Where do I begin? Well, I am a media personality. For those of you who aren't familiar with what I do, I am the boss lady for Power214 Magazine and radio. So I run the magazine and also do a lot of the operations for the radio station. And on top of that, I also have my own radio show on the station called Redhead Diva Radio. So I am the host for that radio show. And amongst other things, also work in the nightlife on a lot of artist showcases and events as well.
Where are you from?
From the Triple D, baby, East Dallas.
Already. Who are some of the people that you have worked with?
Oh, wow. Well, as far as just like artists or just in general?
In general. I know you had an artist on your show, Future's artist.
Yeah, I actually just had his artist that he just signed a few months ago, Fortune, at the station on Friday. So.
Oh, really?
But, I mean, I've worked with a lot of people in the industry. You know, a lot of my opportunities have come from working with K104 and with 97.9. So I've been really blessed to get opportunities to work with the both stations on a lot of big events, which working with a lot of artists, a lot of listening parties. You know, some of the ones that I've worked with are Young Dolph, Ty Dolla $ign. Let me think of as recent. Of course, all of the Dirty Water music artists, you know, Pimp, Lil Ronnie. I've worked with them a lot in a lot of different events, and of course, done a lot of media coverage at a lot of their concerts, and actually had Zarion on one of our covers for Power214 magazine. So they've definitely been really supportive of Power214 and just kind of including us in a lot of their events and concerts and whatnot. So, you know, there's just a lot of different opportunities that I've had, and, you know, working with local artists and also on some of the bigger events with the mainstream artists. A few months ago, I was able to do a few of the concerts at Onyx with T.I. at his birthday bash, and also Boosie when he came in town. So definitely have been, like I said, blessed to have really good connections and relationships where I have been able to do a lot of interviews with a lot of really good artists.
How are you feeling right now about the music scene, the Dallas music scene?
Well, I definitely like the diversity and the different styles of music. I think that there is a lot of talent out there in the city. One of the things that I noticed, though, is that they are not being probably managed properly. So a lot of people don't know about a lot of the talent here in the city because, of course, you know, they don't get the promo that they should be getting, or they're not getting pushed properly out in the music scene. So I definitely think there's a lot of good talent, you know. I think that if we continue to, as far as, like, for example, us as internet radio stations continue to play their music, then, you know, a lot of people will start getting familiar with some of the names out here that, you know, are really talented here in DFW.
What do you think are some solutions that can help to those problems as far as, like, the artists not being managed well?
Well, I think that a lot of the times, like, there's a lot of opportunities in the city for artists to go to events outside of just like concerts and, you know, getting opportunities to perform. Like, for example, we have an event on March 21st that DJ Big Daddy's throwing. It's Vertigo. a vertical event, stuff like that. I think that artists should be taken advantage of, because I think at these type of opportunities that are put in the industry to educate people, and I think a lot of artists don't know all the ins and outs of the music business. So, you know, they got the music down, but there's way more to it to be an artist than just doing the music. You know, there's definitely a big marketing piece that's necessary to go out there and, you know, get people to know who you are, to increase your fan base. So for starters, I think that, you know, artists should take advantage of a lot of these different events that are out there to help educate them, to provide them the tools, the resources, the different people that are in the business to help them, you know, market them better, help promote them better. So for starters, I think that would be one way to change things. And then, you know, just to have a more supportive music community, honestly.
What person would you say that you interviewed that had the most personality?
One of my, I would say, even favorite, aside from most personality, would be K104's morning show host, Dee Dee in the Morning. I interviewed her for one of our issues of Power214 magazine, and she definitely switched it up on me. She actually interviewed me before I got to interview her, so that was definitely interesting, because I went to the station to go interview her, and she turned the tables on me and actually started interviewing me. And, you know, we spent a lot of time with her asking me questions about just what I do, and, you know, just things that she's noticed about how I've grown in the industry, because I've only been in the industry really a solid year. And, you know, I really have made a lot of progress. So she definitely is a really down-to-earth person, but full of personality. So she is definitely, I feel, like a good role model for people that are trying to be in the radio business. And not just that, as a woman, you know, she's definitely a good mentor. So I totally love Dee Dee. I mean, as successful as she has been, she's definitely very humble. And I think that when you become successful in this business, you definitely can't lose sight of being humble and not forgetting where you come from.
That's real. That's real. You said you've been in the business for about a year now.
Correct.
What got you into the industry? What sparked your attention?
Actually wasn't intentional, but I actually was in a corporate setting, and I was working in an office position, and I actually lost my job. And out of nowhere, I lost my job, and I had a friend that was a promoter, a nightclub promoter, and with me, I really didn't have like a plan B at the time. Being a single mom, I really didn't have a job to go to. You know, it's not easy to get a job out here, you know, even though I have 2 degrees, I have tons of management experience behind me, and it's not easy to get a job even now with all of that, you know, because there's so many people now that have degrees. There's so much competition out there. So it wasn't like I lost my job and then I had, you know, a few weeks and I got another job. So I had a friend of mine that said, you don't have a job right now, why don't you come work with me and help me promote this new club, and you'll make some money, and you know, I'll give you something different to do. And you know, I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? You know, I mean, I need money. I have 3 kids to support, so let me give it a shot. And sure enough, I did. I went ahead and started as a club promoter and did really well. And of course, I'm such an outgoing, high energy person that I use that to my advantage. I started as a club promoter, then worked my way into doing artist showcases, artist events. And I also was working also for a clothing line, a tattoo clothing line, as an ink model. And between that and the club promoting, I was able to get in a few magazine features as an ink model. And like I said, work my way to doing artist showcases, and then opportunity came up to run a magazine. So I took on the opportunity to do that with Takeover Magazine, and it just kind of went from there. Then I got opportunity to co-host on a radio show at Fishbowl Radio with one of my boys, Chris Spin, with the Easy Money Evolution show. He asked me to be a co-host, and it just went from there. Like every opportunity, I've used it to just grow in the industry, you know, and help increase my network. And here I am now with my own brand, you know, Power214 Magazine and Radio, have my own radio show, and, you know, have a lot of other projects in the works also from a media brand standpoint.
Yeah, so, you tell the people something that they just wouldn't know about you. Just something personal.
Let's see. That's definitely a difficult question.
Like, do you sing on the side? Or
That's definitely a trick question for me because, that's hard. Before I went into entertainment, I was a professional makeup artist in film and photography. I actually have a full-blown makeup studio in my house now. And I've worked with a lot of filmmakers here in Dallas, and a lot of the big-name photographers, you know, doing makeup for a lot of the models here in Dallas, big models, big names here in Dallas. And I've worked on a lot of horror films, so I've made a lot of zombies and a lot of crazy, gory type of makeup that I've done on set. So I definitely have enjoyed that. And it's something that I haven't done in a while, but definitely will never lose passion for doing makeup.
okay.
Who you gonna vote for?
Well, it's really easy. I mean, definitely not Donald Trump. You know, I think it's great that we have a woman candidate running for president. And of course, I was always a Clinton fan and follower, even though, you know, there was a lot of controversy during his presidency. He was a good president, no doubt, you know, at the end of the day. So, of course, I'd stand by Hillary.
Okay. Do you think OJ did it?
I think the world will never know.
What about Bill Cosby?
Oh, that whole situation is definitely interesting. Do I think he did it? I think in some instance, some of the females, I think there's probably some truth to it. Now, whether or not all the women that have came out, you know, is legitimate, I think that's hard to say, because why not one person up until now has ever said anything? I mean, why? If this has been something that, you know, everybody's, you know, coming out the woodwork right now, but not one person till this day has ever came out and said anything.
Yeah, yeah. Earlier this week, there was a situation in Chicago with Trump in the rally. Are you familiar about what happened?
A little bit.
So how much do you know about it?
Just bits and pieces that I've read about it on Facebook, but not like the what happened in detail now.
Yeah, they said that the protesters got a little out of hand, and they had to shut the rally down. Do you think this man will be president?
No.
Why?
Because just the whole approach with the campaign, of course, you know, he's utilizing it to his advantage because, you know, in our society today, all publicity is good publicity to people. You know, regardless if it's negative, you know, it's publicity. And so people capitalize on that. Regardless if it's negative, you know, people are going to use that and run with it. And even though, you know, in the side of Donald Trump, you know, they're running with it and they think that, you know, he has a chance, but we also have to remember that we do have a lot of minorities in this country today and age. And no matter what, I mean, obviously, you can see by Baraka having 2 terms that we do have a voice.
Yeah.
And so I think that, you know, from a minority standpoint, no one's going to ever agree with his views. And we obviously got a black president twice.
Yeah.
So to me, that in itself says everything,
Yeah.
you know. And from a minority standpoint, nobody's going to be okay with having a man like that in office, I think. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. What is your take on racism still affecting our country?
I think that it's, you know, it's horrible that we still live in a world like that, because, you know, a lot of time has gone by, and, you know, our kids are growing up, and still we are faced with that. I think it's sad because, again, going back to minorities, I mean, we're everywhere. We are like, soon we'll probably even be the majority in this country, you know? And, you know, it's still sad to see that there's still people that have that small-minded mentality. You know, we've had a black president, going back to that. So, you know, the people that are still in that racist mentality, they need to get over it. You know, I mean, we have a lot of things that we have progressed in, but I think that eventually the people that are still in that racist mentality eventually will just fade out.
Yeah.
Because it comes from the old school mentality, you know? So I think eventually it'll fade out.
Yeah, yeah. Really. Who are some of the, let's get back to the music. Who are some of the artists that you're feeling?
Well, of course, my favorite amongst a bunch of other artists, of course, is Drake. I'm a Drake fan.
Yeah.
And R&B wise, I love R&B. Oh my God, I hate that they don't play R&B as much as they used to on the radio. I miss it so much. I mean, my favorite time in music would be the 90s R&B age. I mean, back when we had Jodeci, we had Tyrese, we had Blackstreet, Tony. You know, a lot of those artists, I can listen to that music. Babyface, I love Babyface. I mean, I can sit here and play R&B every day and I get tired of that music.
Yeah.
You know, and even going back to even older decade, you know, listening to Marvin Gaye, listening to Al Green, you know, listening to Bobby Womack, which I don't know if y'all know about Bobby Womack, but
we know about Bobby Womack.
You know,
what I'm saying? We know about Bobby. You know what I'm saying? If you think you're lonely now.
Yes, that is my song right there. That's my jam right there.
Yeah. What you think happened to those type of artists? Because nowadays those you don't see groups no more like that.
I know. And I don't know. I'd like to know that, because I mean, they definitely, these type of, you know, groups in R&B have their place in music, you know, and it's, I hate that we don't have that now, you know. It's like you gotta listen to Pandora, Spotify, or even have your own collection of music to listen to it, but you're not gonna hear it. I mean, okay, you might hear it on 105.7, you know, what is that, smooth R&B? You might hear it there, but you're not going to hear R&B on K104 or 97.9. I mean, I hate that, but, you know, it's all good. You know, it's like you just got to do what you got to do, and hopefully we get some new R&B artists out there, because you don't even hear Trey songs anymore on the radio. It's like he kind of phased out, or Usher. And I love Usher, too. Usher's one of my favorite R&B artists, too.
Is there any artists locally that you feeling?
Yeah, I actually like Little Ronnie. Little Ronnie is one of my favorites. There's actually a few. I mentioned Jay Oliver earlier, and I know that I was talking to you, Charlie, about that, and he has a good sound. I definitely like his music. I went to a album listening party of his, and I really like the music that he's put out, and he's actually also worked with a lot of artists and put out some good music with artists. So definitely somebody that people should check out, because he definitely has a good sound.
You feeling any R&B artists locally?
Let me think. Not really that I can think of right now.
About Trey Ward.
Oh, you're right. You are so right. Thank you for reminding me. I do like Trey Ward's sound. I saw him perform at the House of Blues, and he's very talented. Very talented. And, you know, he just doesn't do R&B. He also does a little rap as well.
Yeah.
So he's very diverse in his music. But yeah, you're right. He just dropped a song, I think on Valentine's Day, that I like. What is it called? Anymore, I think. Yeah, I like that track. That's a good choice. Thank you.
Are you familiar with classic music?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. Okay. He also got some nice CDs coming out, especially with I think he got a new project out with D-Real coming real soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As far as the Metroplex, you play a lot of local artists on your show, right?
That is correct.
What are some of the procedures that an artist would have to do if they want to be heard on Power214, or also to get an interview with you?
You know, I think that I've made it so easy. Like, honestly, I constantly go on social media, and this is not just me, but like everybody that has a show at Power214. From, you know, all week we got shows airing on the station, and we all say all the time, artists, send us your music. You know, we're here to support the underground scene, the local artist movement, and we make it so easy. We provide our email addresses. We tell them, you know, hit us up, you know, send us your music. And for me, it's so easy to get a hold of me. I mean, I have my number on Facebook, so what does that tell you? Like, I have my number out there for people to reach out to me. I make it so easy to people to access me. It's crazy, and you'd be surprised that artists don't take advantage of that. You know, you say this all day long. Email me your music. We support the Triple D. We support local artists. You know, if you want an interview, hit us up. And it really is not the response that you would think. And I don't understand why. Because wouldn't you want people to like get exposed to your music? Wouldn't you want to increase your fan base? Wouldn't you want somebody to say, man, I like that track right there. I wonder what else he got. And then they go to your social media and check out and see what other tracks you got out there. But they don't take advantage of it. So again, it goes back to a lot of artists need guidance. They need the guidance to push them to seek out the opportunities of radio, magazine, networking, all of the things for them to be successful. I mean, we have a magazine. We have radio shows at Power214. And do you think that artists take advantage of that? They don't. And everything is about marketing if you want to take your music serious. Everything.
Yeah, got to put it in their face.
Absolutely.
Definitely got to put it in their face.
Absolutely.
And you have been well known to put it in their face. We see you out at different events. We see you, you know, in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And that grind is a very powerful thing, and we very much salute you for that. Is there any shout outs that you got?
Absolutely. Of course, I want to shout out to all of you from Reallyfe Productions. I definitely love everything that you guys do. I told you that when you came on my radio show. I salute you guys because you definitely bring all the artists here to really, you know, give a little bit of themselves outside of their music. So I definitely respect your whole movement with that. I want to shout out my team, Power214, because, you know, our station is growing, and, you know, everybody's really coming together to try to help build the brand. And obviously it's not easy. Like you said, you got to grind hard every single day. And, you know, we're on it. We're on it to try to build this brand and go out there and make an impact in this industry, help be supportive to the artists, you know, by inviting them to our shows, playing their music, working with them to get them in the magazine and tell their story. So definitely shout out to my team. A shout out, of course, to everybody that supports me on a regular, people that tune into my show, artists that show me, love back. When I bring them on my show, they go back and, share my show. They go back and do shout outs to me and invite me to do events with them or whatever. So definitely everybody that's out there on their grind, a huge shout out to everybody, because this is a 24/7 hustle. If you want to be in the music business, it's a nonstop grind, nonstop. You have to live and breathe this business if you want to be successful. So I definitely salute everybody that's out there on their grind every day, and just shout out to everybody that's out there doing it.
That's all. Give them that contact info again.
All right, if you want to contact me, social media, of course, Redhead Diva Radio. Just look up Redhead Diva Radio on everything, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to get features, a radio show, you want your own radio show, definitely. Everything is Power214. We have a website, power214.com. Everything on social media is Power214. So we are very, very reasonable for magazine if you're wanting to feature. And, we're here to support, like I said, the underground movement. As far as me, myself, my personal, everything is GBaby0711. And my phone number is on my social media. So if you want to get a hold of me, just hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, DM me, goes down in the DM. And then, of course, artists, you want to send me your music, send it to gbabydallas@gmail.com. So don't forget that, gbabydallas@gmail.com.
Real talk. Well, we really appreciate you coming through, and you're a real life street star, G baby.
Thank you.